Hello ladies and gentlemen, once again this is Jeremy Smith. As you guys know, Sony has been releasing a lot of new lenses lately. We've just now seen the release of the 28-70 f2, which we'll no doubt take a look at in a future video. But I wanted to go back and look at a lens that's still very new to me, that's been out a little while, the new 85 1.4 G Master version 2. Now 85mm is my favorite sort of go-to portrait focal length. I have created countless portraits and even some non-portraits with different 85mm lenses over the years. So I was very eager to see this lens get an update. It definitely lives up to the hype. But let's talk about some of the specifics of how it compares with the older version, and we're going to take a brief look too to see how it compares with the Sigma 85 1.4 DGDN. Anyways guys, enough of the intro, let's go ahead and take a look at these lenses in more detail. Taking a closer look at the 85mm 1.4 G Master version 2, it's very similar to the old version of the lens. I do have the older version of the lens right here, and of course there is a size and weight difference as well. Not so much size difference, more weight difference. I can't convey that on camera really, but it's one of those things where you notice the difference in weight immediately. However, as you use the lens more, you don't notice it nearly as much, but it's still well appreciated. One thing that I like on this lens is that it is smaller in diameter. The new version is smaller in diameter, so it's easier to pack in a bag, which is always nice. I've got some smaller spaces in some bags, and I've noticed that it's easier to get the lens in there now. I also appreciate the fact that we now have two focus hold buttons, and of course those buttons can be reprogrammed to do other things through your Sony camera menu. But having two of those is nice. The old lens only had a single one here on the side, but now we have two, so that way if you're holding this lens in different positions, different orientations, vertical, horizontal, that sort of thing, it's easy to actually have a focus hold button nearby to reach out and touch, which is awesome. I also appreciate that there's now an iris lock. As some of you guys may know, I am not a fan of using the aperture ring. It's not something I use a lot. I could see using it on cameras like the Cinema Line, FX3 and FX6 and that sort of thing, but for stills, I much prefer to change the aperture on the camera itself, so I like having this iris lock. So now, it's not possible to accidentally bump your aperture ring and get it off to some weird setting, so that way you can actually continue to control it through the camera body. You can leave it on an A position. You do have the option of declicking that mechanism as well, so if you want to have a smooth aperture ability, you can do that too. That's something that we saw in the old version of the lens, but yeah, having the ability to now lock the iris, it won't lock anywhere else other than A, but it's nice because you can lock it there and change aperture through your camera body, so really nice there. The other thing that I've noticed is that over the years, and this is a random thing here, but I've noticed that over the years Sony has gotten into doing this laser engraving on their serial numbers of their lenses, and this is something that we saw on I think it was first on like the 12 to 24 G Master or something like that. But I've noticed that Sony has started doing that on all their lenses now. This particular 85 1.4 G Master version 1 is a lens that is not my original 85 1.4 lens. This is actually a lens that has been very recently manufactured, so it also has that laser engraved serial number. So looks like Sony is just doing that on all their lenses now, which is an awesome thing. As you saw in the old version, the ability to click or declick the aperture ring, but we didn't have that iris lock, so very nice to see on the new lens. Now I'll speak to you guys a little bit about the focusing on the new lens. The new lens is much faster. The old lens relied on old school USM focus motor technology, and this one has the newer linear motor design, so the focus speed is much better. I'll show you guys that in a moment. It's still a 77mm filter size, which is awesome. So you don't have to worry about any sort of different filters, but as you can tell, the overall barrel of the lens is still smaller diameter compared to the old version. So you can see where your filter threads are here. But yeah, they kind of put the lens on a little bit of a diet, and the entire thing's a bit smaller in diameter, but the filter threads are the same size. Very, very solid feeling lens. Because I know I'm going to get this question, what about Sigma's 85mm 1.4 DGDN? Sigma lenses used to have this reputation for being big and bulky and heavy, but since their new DN mirrorless specific lenses have come about, that is no longer the case. Now, I'll tell you guys, for me, not to sound like a snob, but I don't use third-party lenses. That's got a lot to do with the cameras I'm using. Using cameras like the A1 or the A9 III or the upcoming A1 Mark II, you have to have Sony native glass. Or not native Sony, but you have to have actual Sony glass if you actually want to be able to take advantage of those cameras' unique features, their higher burst rates, and that sort of thing. So this is why I primarily don't use third-party lenses. However, this Sigma 85 1.4 DGD lens is a very, very stellar piece of glass as well. It does happen to be a little smaller and lighter. Actually, it's not. I think it's slightly lighter on paper, but you don't notice that. But you do notice how much smaller it is than the 85 1.4 G Master. So that's a nice benefit. If a person's using something like up to the A7R5, I still recommend this lens. And I do recommend this lens for people on a budget. But if you're using those upper-end Sony bodies and you want to take advantage of the higher burst rates and things like that, you still should be looking at this one. Again, not to be too snobby about this, but if you've spent $6,000 or more on a camera body, you shouldn't be concerning yourself about trying to spend, a bit of money between these two lenses. So you should just be looking at the Sony at this point. But yeah, the Sigma is certainly a very, very good lens too. For me, the only time I would use a third-party lens is if it's something that the manufacturer doesn't offer. On this Sigma, very similar feature set. Very, very nice. It still has an aperture lock. Actually, we saw the aperture lock on the Sigma lenses before we saw that feature on Sony lenses. We still have the ability also to click or declick our aperture mechanism. We still have a focus hold button, although it is one here, not two. We may do some future testing. I did a little bit of testing between the two of these, and I'll show you some of the image quality differences, but we may do some more testing on this lens in the future. Just write me in the comments below if that's something you'd like to see. Both these lenses are really, really good. One of the biggest things that I noticed about the older 85 1.4 G Master is that it just wasn't nearly as sharp wide open as a lot of the other newer Sony lenses. And this is something that was not as big of a deal at first, but as we continue to get higher and higher resolution bodies, and as the other lenses got better and better, this became even more noticeable. I didn't do a whole lot of testing. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to shoot with this lens a whole lot so far, but I did do some initial tests. You guys will notice right here, this is the 85 1.4 GM original, and this is wide open at f1.4. Now, it does a pretty good job. I mean, if you didn't really know that the 85 1.4 G Master 2 existed, you probably would notice that there's a difference here. Let's see, we take a look at that one, and then we have the 85 1.4 GM2 here, and yes, it is quite a difference. Let's go ahead and put these side by side, and you can basically see what is happening here. Quite a difference there. Let's zoom in a little bit more so you guys can get a better impression. Again, we are pixel peeping, but that's kind of the point to all this. But yeah, take a look at that. You can see how I look kind of tired in this video, or in these pictures. No. But yeah, other than that, you can definitely see a lot more of that softness wide open. If you notice around my eyes and mouth, there's definitely a big difference there. Color rendering is very, very different on the new lens too. I used to kind of perceive the older 85 1.4 G Master as being more of a neutral rendering lens in terms of color, but actually I can see now that it's really kind of swinging more towards more of a cool kind of bias. The new lens definitely has a warmer appearance. I'm going to try this lens in some different scenes and see how it renders the out of focus areas. I noticed that there's definitely a difference. It's not apparent in all scenes, but I guess the short answer is we're not sacrificing a lot of the quality of the out of focus areas in favor of the sharpness. Oh wow, yeah, notice the difference in notice the difference in my sweatshirt. By the way, the camera was set to a fixed white balance, so you're not seeing auto white balance differences between the cameras. You are seeing lens differences. And looks like I took these photographs about 2.5 minutes apart, so no great change there. But yeah, definitely that you can definitely see the cooler rendering of the older G Master lens. And of course, yeah, man, that sweatshirt shows its age in the G Master 2 sample. Whenever we look at all the different little cracks and everything here in the printing. Anyways, a little bit more rays showing up on the newer one. Okay, let's move on. We've seen my tired face enough. Okay, so let's see here. Now I was looking at a little bit of lens flare differences between the two. I consider both these lenses very, very good at handling flare. Neither one of these produces a lot of lens flare. We see some differences back and forth. We see more of that color rendering difference between the two lenses as well here. It's kind of weird, like the older G Master almost kind of has like a green tinge to it. And FYI, as always, no filters were used on either of these lenses. Both these lenses are have completely naked front elements, so no protective filters or anything are being used here. Yeah, I would definitely say that we see a lot more contrast in this very, very flared sort of situation where we're heavily backlit here. Definitely seeing more sharpness differences, but yeah, definitely more contrast as well. Both look really, really good. We have a little bit of a sort of flare appearing down here in the older one. That's not there on the new one. But yeah, it's not like the old lens does bad in terms of flare either. Now, in terms of that Sigma, that 85 1.4 DGDN, definitely not hating on that lens. I still feel that it is definitely the best option for at that price point. It's still definitely the best bang for your buck. It does very well in all areas. I'm going to have to test that lens more. I think I want to just make a whole video perhaps where I put it up against the GM2. But yeah, check out this. This is the Sigma on the right and the Sony on the left. Frankly, I was expecting to see a difference in terms of out of focus area rendering on both these, but I didn't really see that, This is not as controlled a test. This is a quick little sample. But yeah, both these lenses actually do really well sharpness-wise. I don't see any appreciable difference in sharpness between the two. And frankly, I didn't see much of a difference in terms of out of focus area rendering either. They both look really good in that area. So this basically just shows you how good the Sigma is. Quick focus speed test here, starting with the older lens. You can see that it's quite the opposite of quick. Now, the one thing I didn't record here is that this lens has a bit of an unsettling sound. A lot of folks complain that the USM motor makes a lot of noise. Of course, the new one is completely and totally silent. Yes, these are portrait lenses, but 85mm focal length can be good for other things too. Looking at the newer lens, you can see it's a lot more snappy in terms of getting to position. And we can also see a little bit of that color difference between these two lenses too. The older one kind of having that sort of green tinge. But yes, you can see it definitely focuses a lot more snappy compared to its predecessor. I'm very happy to see this lens updates. I'm sure we will do a lot more with this lens in the future. I'll put a link to some samples for you guys in the description so you can download the full res RAW files. Write me in the comments if you have questions, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, this is Jeremy Smith, signing off.